top. 한번 make you hit the spot. Every little drip, the drop, fizz and pop. 소름 돋아, it's getting hot. Just I'm sipping, man, it's dripping out. It's done, I need a second round.
Ugh, that was terrible.
I finally have a soundtrack from my nightmares.
Oh hey there! I was playing some Minecraft when this movie came to my ears. When it comes to Minecraft, there's a vast world waiting to be explored. The game itself, the content creators, the fan mods, that one Lou animator that shall never be mentioned by name. God damn it, Mario. Anyway, point is, Minecraft is not just a game that's transcended to the beyond. It's a phenomenon that has captivated millions of people regardless of device of choice. The sheer scale of the Minecraft universe, with its endless possibilities for creation and exploration, is something that even the most powerful GPUs struggle to fully render at max settings. That being said, when a movie was greenlit to make the blocky universe much more expansive, fans could not help but feel excited to see how will it turn out. And since Warner Bros. Had a lot of issues in the past years, to the point I definitely want to murder Saslab and eat his flesh on a taco, guess this was their one and only apology letter at the time. This begs the question, how are they going to translate that iconic square aesthetic and infinite sandbox into a compelling narrative? Well, only one way to find out. So, grab your diamond sword and get your ender pearls ready as we dive into not just the Minecraft movie, but the Minecraft movie. At this point of time and space, if you guys don't know what Minecraft is, then seriously, get the fuck off your iPads. And I'm talking to you iPad kids in the background. Seriously, get off your freaking iPads and go touch some grass right now! Sorry. Anyway, according to video game history, Minecraft began as a solo project by the Swedish programmer Marcus Persson, aka Notch. Development of this game started all the way back in May 2009, with the first public alpha version released just a few days, on May 17th, 2009. Originally titled Cave Game, it quickly evolved into the title Minecraft Order of the Stone, before settling on the familiar Minecraft, dropping the subtitle almost immediately. The game rapidly became a success, and gained a following due to its unique block-based open-world survival and crafting gameplay. Notch founded Mojang Studios a year later, in 2010, to continue development for the game, and the official 1.0 release of Minecraft was released on November 18th, 2011 at Minecon. The game's popularity continued to explode at a gargantuan pace, leading to its acquisition by Microsoft in 2014 for, get this, $2.5 million. That being said, Minecraft Bedrock Edition was born under the... No, it wasn't Python. No, it wasn't Java, but rather under the C++ coding language. Sure, there is Minecraft Java Edition as well, but that one is already discontinued as we speak. Anyway, it has since become the best-selling video game of all time, which obviously led to the creation of numerous spin-offs, merchandise, and even a massive global community. I mean, think about it. If we didn't have Minecraft, we wouldn't have YouTubers as, I don't know, Afmal, Jellybean, Jaden Animations? Jesus Christ, why does my memory have to fuck me up all of a sudden? Anyway, and now, dear students, we know why Steve is part of the current Smash Bros. Ultimate roster. Anyway, as for the movie, the project was directed by Garrett and written by Chris Bowman, Hubble Palmer, Neil Widener, Gavin James, and Chris Galetta, from a story by Alison Schroeder, Bowman, and Palmer. Yikes, these names are really weird to say. With the Warner Brothers, and the Warner sister, leading the project with ideas dating back as of 2014, Jesus! The movie has the presence of Jason Momoa, Danielle Brooks, Emma Myers, Sebastian Hansen, and the one and only Jack Black. Yes, we know, Mario. Thank you for pointing that out. Regardless of actors, the movie shifted between several directors, producers, and story drafts. By 2022, Legendary Entertainment became involved, and over the course of time, Mark Mothersbaugh became the music composer, with Sony Pictures Imageworks, VFX, and Digital Domain providing the film's visual effects. By the time the movie hit theaters on April 4th, 2025, this recipe of the Warners became, dare I say, a mixed success, with Rotten Tomatoes giving it an unworthy 47% on the tomato meter and a solid 89% on the audience score. IMDb couldn't help but find it a mixed bag, giving it a 5.6 out of 10. Not too bad, but not too good either. However, there was a contender that was trying its best to make sure Steve's fame was cut short. And oh boy, was it so Miska Muska messed up. On spring 2025, Disney released a live-action remake of 1937's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, hoping to cash in with those who have a high dose of nostalgia. Did it go good for Minky? Well, not quite. Why? Let's investigate that in detail, shall we? Now, if you guys are aware of one thing, is that Disney wants to be the very best when it comes to movies. Disney has a long story of being a major player in the entertainment industry, often finding itself in direct competition with other studios. We saw this with the release of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which faced unexpected competition from Disney's Lion King prequel, Mufasa. Now, it appears that history has repeated itself once again. This time, WB's Minecraft movie went head-to-head with Disney's highly anticipated live-action adaptation of Snow White. Unfortunately for Disney, their remake faced very major hurdles. The casting of Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, Jesus Christ, coupled with widely criticized CGI for the dwarves, I mean, look at this mess! And a narrative unfaithful to the original, resulted in a film that struggled to connect with audiences. Some countries even opted not to release it, perhaps sparing their citizens the cinematic ordeal. Wow. The critical reception for Snow White was nothing short of a public shaming. On Rotten Tomatoes, it linked to a dismal 44% from critics, barely escaping the rotten designation by a thread as thin as its plot. Meanwhile, IMDb users, seemingly in a race to the bottom, awarded it an abysmal rating, with some reports showing it to plunge as low as 2.1 out of 10. It seems even the most generous viewers couldn't find a redeeming quality. The film was so universally panned that it almost makes Dragon Ball Evolution, yes, that universally mocked live-action anime atrocity with its equally pathetic 14% on Rotten Tomatoes and 2.5 on IMDb, look like a cinematic masterpiece in comparison. At least Dragon Ball Evolution had the decency to be so bad it was comically entertaining, if not funny. But Snow White just managed to be boringly bad. I mean, so boringly bad that it made me even sleep half an hour into the movie. I mean, could you really tell I was really excited for that? Not really. The box office numbers tell a clear story of financial ruin for one and a notorious success for the other. The Minecraft movie, with a budget of $150 million, was a massive success, raking in almost $1 billion globally. In stark comparison, Disney's Snow White remake, despite an estimated budget of $240 million to $300 million, only managed to gross out $205.7 million. This resulted in a substantial loss for Disney, estimated to be between $34.3 million and $94.3 million, marking it as a significant financial disappointment. That's a big oof in my book, or should I say in Homer's language.
Go!
While Snow White was busy bombing, the Minecraft movie ignited a cultural phenomenon, leading to literal chaos in theaters. This has come from TikTok. Yes, TikTok. Bear with me for a second. On TikTok, screens transformed into interactive, up-to-destructive events. Reports from cinema staff across the globe painted a picture of mayhem. Popcorn, confetti, and drinks hurled across platforms and auditoriums. Chicken jockey chants echoing through the speakers, and even instances of audience members jumping on and breaking seats. Heck, some even brought chickens to the movie. I mean, what? Some theaters were forced to project disclaimers, threatening removal for disruptive behavior, and a few even banned concessions for younger viewers entirely. It was, for better or worse, the Rocky Horror Picture Show for a new generation, creating a memorable experience even though it was messy front and center. But hey, we're here for blocky chaos, and that's just what I'm gonna give you. Strap in, the story is about to unfold. A fair warning before we get any further into this review. Not only is this video under fair use, but it also has huge spoilers for the movie. So unless you want that spark of excitement turned to ash, then kindly get off this video and go watch it on HBO Max beforehand. That being said, let's get started. It all starts in the childhood of our main protagonist, Steve, who yearned for the mines since he was a kid. Given he was not allowed as a kid, he had to grow and get a job as a struggling doorknob salesman, when he eventually remembered his passion. Returning to the mines, now as an adult, he encounters the Orb of Dominance and the Earth Crystal. When both are combined, they create a portal that transported him to the Overworld, a world where the terrain is made of easily manipulated cubes. From there, he made his own paradise, and called it his new home. Heck, even going as far as having a friend dog, which he named Dennis. It was a utopia that he would never leave. Although he eventually found a dimension where things are not the same as his world makes it out to be. The Nether, unlike the Overworld, is completely devoid of joy or creativity. It was a place where gold and power were the only things that kept people at bay. Hey, like this shitty excuse of a platform. As we speak, I might as well find a death note and use it to kill those who wronged me. Hell, even going as far as kill my family with that notebook. Screw being a hero or even finding redemption. It feels so good to be bad. This world, inhabited by piglings, half human, half pig beings, are leadered by the evil sorceress Malgosia. Truth be told, I heard better and worse names for villains over time. Worst case scenario, you have Toilinator. Best case scenario, you have Mr. Puzzles himself. But let's deviate ourselves from that, given I want to smash his TV face into oblivion. I seriously hate how they redeemed Mr. Puzzles in the World of Italians 2025. I seriously hate villains getting redeemed. I'm bad, and that's good. I know I'll never be good, and that's something bad. That's something Wreck-It Ralph said already! Wait, what am I talking about? Oh yeah, the Minecraft movie. With Steve getting captured by her, and Malgosia getting the orb to rule the world, Steve tasks Dennis to go to Earth to save it from the grasp of her. Later in the timeline, we get to see Idaho, and we get to see our lovely punching back. This is Garrison, aka Garbage Man. He was once the famous video game champion who now owns a struggling video game store. Garbage Man? Well, at least the creators did not have to nickname Garrett Trash Boat. That would have been a lot embarrassing for him. Ain't that right, Rigby?
Did you have to tell everyone?
Yes, it's that funny. Trash Boat. Oh man, Trash Boat. Sorry. With his eyes on the search of a 1978 Atari Cosmos, he wins the auction, but the console he was promised was not there, only to be the place where both the Orb of Dominance and the Earth Crystal are hidden. With his heart shattered, he struggled halfway on his journey to get back to his store. This is where we see the siblings, Henry and Natalie, moving to Chuglass following their mother's death. Here we meet the last protagonist, that being Don, their real estate agent who also runs a mobile petting zoo. Shocking, I know. On Henry's first day of school, acknowledging the fact that Henry is totally created to the point he may be diagnosed with Asperger's for the rest of his goddamn life, two bullies, which I'll aptly name as Trevor and Jeremy, this last one paying homage to a certain bratty kid in a Disney cartoon, sabotage Henry's ship, which causes not only the destruction of the potato chip factory's mascot, Chucky, but also makes him almost expelled, making Garrison his quote-unquote uncle. There, Henry discards the orb and crystal and combines them, leading the two to Steve's mine. Natalie soon enough finds Henry missing and calls John, who tracks down Henry's location via Natalie's phone. As the four reunite, they are sucked into the portal and arrive in the Overworld, with a villager obliviously getting into the real world. More on that later. Back in the Nether, Malgosia learns that the orb has returned and releases Steve from his imprisonment in the Nether to reclaim it, saying that she has Dennis as a hostage. Returning to the Overworld, as her team tries to fight some monsters during the deadly night, Henry learns to manipulate blocks and builds a wooden fortress. And sadly, the Earth Crystal is destroyed in the commotion. Smooth move, Garbage Man. Just when things were getting dire, Steve appears at dawn and defeats the monsters as he tells the group that a replacement crystal will be needed for the Woodland Mansion, which leads to him joining the group and subtly double-crossing Malgosia. To prepare for his quest, he leads them to a nearby village, where a pig literally wears a jewel crown and demonstrates how to craft. By the way, everyone, let's all have a minute of respect to our friend Technoblade, who sadly passed away in 2022 due to cancer. The world's no longer the same without him. A huge reason why a cure to cancer must be found with no time to dawdle. We're gonna miss you, buddy. Anyway, here's where we hear our first musical number all about lava chicken. La 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 lava chicken. What? It's catchy. The piglins, with a plan to seek the Orb of Dominance, they launch an attack on the village. Steve, Garrett, and Henry narrowly escape, while Natalie and Dawn are separated from them and befriend Dennis along the way to get to the Woodland Mansion. Malgosia, finding out that General Chungus failed her, General Chungus, responds by sending out the Great Hawk, a massive piglin whose whole appearance screams pain and torture. And I thought the pain bot was bad enough. This screams pain. All this pig knows is pain. When Steve mentions that he has a hoard of diamonds, Garrett becomes interested and demands access as an added condition to handing over the orb. With a lot of traps, they make a detour and find the hoard, but Henry is angered by their disregard for Natalie's safety. As the Great Hawk arrives and tries to make them toast, they escape using minecarts and the Hawk is blown up by creepers. Arriving at the mansion, Steve and Garrett attempt to distract the guards while Henry acquires both the Earth Crystal and the Ender Pearl, which can facilitate one's teleportation. While he's at it, Steve and Garrett fight you guessed it, a chicken jockey, to which they luckily win. And Enderman steadily stares at Henry though, making him see things he shouldn't see. Even a cameo of Herobrine, that's what. But he luckily snaps out of it. Before he could even manage to escape, however, Malgosha makes an ambush and returns, destroying the bridge to the mansion altogether. Steve and Henry lose the orb to her, but successfully escape as Garrett seemingly sacrifices himself in the blast. The two awaken with Dawn, Natalie, and Dennis in the mushroom house. That's where we see Natalie's very own weakness. She's downright overprotective, to the point she might be the generational daughter of Priyanka Maheshwaran. Remember that doctor? Sheesh, I hate parents. No wonder I went to murder my mom and dad. Anyway, Malgosha then uses the orb to superpower the nether portal, flooding out the sun and declaring war on the Overworld. Our heroic party doesn't shrug it off, as they craft an arsenal of weaponry and an army of iron golems to fight the pigling invasion, all while Steve fights Malgosha himself. With our team on a race against time, Henry used the Ender Pearl to obtain the crystal alongside some help from Garrett, who luckily survived the explosion. Who would have thought? This restored the sunlight and caused Malgosha and her army to zombify. With a sentimental song, our team returns to Juggalas, where they develop and make the successful video game Block City Battle Buddies. Within this good chain of events, Dawn opens her zoo with Dennis as an attraction. Natalie begins teaching self-defense classes. Henry completes his jackpot and makes his bullies feel ashamed. And Garrett revitalizes the game store with Steve. At the end of the day, the movie tells us that creativity is a weapon that can change the world for the better. It'll take time for people to realize that, but they'll eventually understand. Also, did the school's directress marry the villager we saw back then after a chain of romantic events? Ugh. Well, can't help but wonder my final thoughts on the movie. Let's get to that real quick. In conclusion, the Minecraft movie turned out to be surprisingly fun and clever. It was a good experiment from Warner Brothers all the same. Given the unfortunate shelving of Coyote vs. Acme, which, by the way, is now salvaged by Ketchup Entertainment, I went in bracing for yet another creative casualty turned tax write-off. But to my surprise, the film managed to skillfully weave together the many fragmented elements of Minecraft in a way that felt genuinely inventive, even going as far as to offer a version to let the community sing or meme its way through the film. While Minecraft Story Mode was previously the closest fans got to a theatrical adventure, this movie truly changes the game. What truly shocked me during my viewing, particularly during the chicken jockey scene, was the audience's reaction, or rather, lack thereof. No wild cheering, no chaotic crowd energy, just quiet, focused enjoyment. And it got me thinking, does Mexico, my home country, actually know how to behave in public spaces better than the internet would have you believe? Shocking, I know. As for Jack Black, his role as Steve cements him as a certified legend in video game adaptations. First the King of Koopas, now Minecraft's blocky hero. He brings both charm and absurdity in a way that only he can, making Steve feel somehow both relatable and ridiculous. Naturally, fans were hyped when news dropped that a sequel was already in development. Slated for release on July 23rd, 2027, the Minecraft movie sequel is still cloaked in mystery. But one thing is confirmed, Alex will be in the movie. And here's the big kicker. It is dropping the same day The Simpsons movie gets a sequel. And yes, The Simpsons, the once proud jesters of American satire, now dance in the gilded halls of the Disney Castle, ever since the 21st Century Fox acquisition back in 2019. The same family that spent decades roasting megacorporations now finds itself sipping from the royal goblet of the Mouse King. It's like watching your favorite rebels become nobles in the court they once mocked. Tragic, really. One could say Mickey sure has the wistfulness to be an emperor, but his inner dejection drove him to madness until all that remained was a crown atop a hollow throne, haunted by some unknowable, cartoonish, unknown suffering. See what I did there? I'm looking at you, Friday Night Funkin' fans. You ugly weirdos. At the end of the day, it's strange to see how things shift. Disney's own King's Gambit, the Snow White remake, turned out to be less of a reinvention and more of a cautionary tale. What was meant to be a bold new take ended up being an oddly hollow spectacle, one that brought more shame than legacy to the studio's already controversial string of live-action remakes. Sure, we have Tangled up next, but I'm not going to review that either. Really, I'm not going to watch that movie in years. That said, my engagement with Disney isn't quite over. I actually watched Elio back in June 2025, and unlike Snow White, it struck a different chord, one that deserves a proper discussion on this channel. There's something in its storytelling, animation style, or maybe its risks that caught my attention and made me just pause. It's not perfect by any means, but it's a fresh step in a direction Disney hasn't quite fully explored yet. So, stay tuned. I'm planning to unpack Elio in detail soon, diving into what worked, what didn't, and what might signal a subtle shift in Disney's creative approach. Because if Snow White was a gambit, maybe Elio is the start of a new game altogether. At the end of the day, when it comes to Snow White's performance against Minecraft, there are only 3 fitting words. It's just bad. Mario, you really outdone yourself with actually inviting every single Minecraft creator right here. I mean, look at this list. Dan TDM, Afma, Jaden Animations. Jesus Christ. You really made a good work right here, Mario. Although, you made sure that no dangerous mobs were invited at all, right?
Va bene, sottocorrente parte una prosciutta da euro.
What do you mean you invited one mob in particular?
Pokon, se ta kotorapote kon apposto che sadora parcrato.
I'm sorry?
A pipa la totorapato tutto.
What do you mean you invited a creeper femboy to the party? You do realize creepers are dangerous beasts, right?
Ooh.
Fuck.